You read the title of that video thinking, surely that's not true. Unfortunately, it is. This is a cease and desist and notification of an investigation ongoing with my new friends at CASA. CASA is Australia's Civil Aviation Authority, and they reckon I'm up to no good. So much no good, they've listed my penalty as 2 years imprisonment twice. Now, if you've been following along on the kite bike journey, we've got 3 previous episodes where I figured out you can fly a motorbike by attaching a hang glider to the top of it. Now, of course, I thought, you know what? I need to jump something with this thing. So I lined up the iconic Murray River. It's Australia's longest river. It's about 120 metres wide, and I had 3 attempts, and I got very bloody close, but I didn't quite make it. But I gave my word, and I swore to the internet that I will not stop trying until I get across this thing. And we had the 4th attempt all lined up. I had all the mainstream media outlets lined up. I had the perfect location, all the filmers, all the editors. It was going to be beautiful. We'd done testing. We were ready to rock and roll. And then this thing showed up. Now, it first showed up in the form of a phone call with the investigator at CASA. And the basic premise of the phone call was, you're doing something very wrong. We're now investigating you and you will get in trouble. And if you do it again, you're going to get in even more trouble, so stop it. And since then, I haven't flown. That was about 3 months ago now. And at first, they offered me a formal interview. Now, for those that don't know, a formal interview with these type of people is you have a lawyer, you go to the head office, you sit down, it's recorded, audio, transcribed, it gets sent out to everyone, and then that gets put forward to the punishment team. Now, I forfeited the interview because I'm a busy man. And since then, I haven't heard back about my punishment, but I did submit a written letter, albeit short. I cut to the chase and I said, I've ridden motorbikes for 2 decades. I've jumped them a lot higher and a lot further than what I did with the kite bike. I never would have considered this flying. I didn't realize I was doing anything wrong. And truthfully, I didn't. I can't continually fly with the thing. It barely gets more than 10 meters off the ground. It barely goes further than 50 meters. I was aiming for 100 if I got lucky. And that's that. I did not consider it an aircraft, but according to this piece of paper, anything that prolongs its flight due to the atmosphere is considered an aircraft. So what that basically means is if you go and hit a big speed bump in your Toyota Corolla and you get a gust of wind up the back end and it makes you fly for a meter, you've just flown an aircraft. If you tape cardboard to your arms and you go on the roof of your house and you flap them like a bird and you go an extra meter, you have just flown your aircraft. You have just prolonged your flight due to the atmosphere. Now, this is a very broad term. In fact, it's the broadest term of all. But is what it is. Truthfully, I thought, who gives a shit? I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not harming anyone, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. So that's where we're at. And honestly, I hadn't spoken about it. I hadn't mentioned it here on YouTube because it's ongoing. I've been advised not to. I've been told, don't speak about it. Don't talk about it. Wait until it's all over. But a couple of days ago, I was scrolling social media and I've seen Red Bull went and did the exact same thing, the flying motorbike, albeit in a different country and albeit a little bit of a different design. It's basically the same. Now, at first, I always just thought this is another Karen. It's just another Darren, just another sad, pathetic critic has dobbed me in because they're unhappy with their own lives and they see me out here getting after it and they want me to stop. So they do the only thing they can do, which is report you to authorities. And then it makes a problem for them. So they have to go after it. And then I end up with a piece of paper in the mail and it's all over, right? Now, that wouldn't be the first time that's happened, and I'm sure it won't be the last, but who knows? A mate said to me, do you think Red Bull dobbed you in? And I thought, surely not. Surely not. But who knows? I don't know. But it compelled me to make this video and get my side of the story out there. And truthfully, I've recorded this video a few times. This is my 4th attempt because I keep saying too much. I've been told by my legal team, I've been told by those around me, you need to put a lid on it. You need to not create too much controversy. So what we're going to do, because I'm sure you're all thinking the same thing I'm thinking, is we're going to put forward a hypothetical scenario. So everything I say for the next 10 minutes is all a lie. It's not real. None of it's true. And I've made it all up, right? But let's just imagine that somewhere out there in the universe, there's this place called Smosmalia. And Smosmalia is a beautiful country. It's got the most magnificent landscapes. The people are sensational. They're known for their cool, calm, collected demeanor.
The beaches are crisp and clean. Beer's cold.
They like to throw things on the barbecue.
And there's plenty of shrimps on the bar.
They like to hold big utensils.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
They're a fantastic bunch of people and it's a fantastic country. And now the people of Smosmalia, they like to stay safe. So they give a portion of their income to this thing called the smotherment. And the smotherment basically is employed by the people of that country to look after the bad actors. Because just like with any society, there's a small portion of people that do the wrong thing and they need to be governed. They need to be told you can't do that. Now, if I were to just make up some statistics about this place called Smosmalia, and it would be available somewhere freely on this internet, or we'll call it the Sminternet, and you could look it up yourself, it would say a few things like this. It would tell you that Somalia is the 4th highest tax country in the world, right? So that means that the government of Somalia has unlimited resource, right? And then it also turns out that Somalia is the 2nd most litigious country in the world. So it has more rules than anywhere else, right? And then it would also tell you that Somalia is the 2nd most sued country in the world. So everyone's pointing their fingers. It's very hard to do anything wrong. And you probably hear that and you think, wow, Somalia must be so safe. They've even got the world's longest lockdown. This place sounds sensational. Good people, good environment, it's safe. But then you do a little bit more digging on Somalia, and just like everything, it's not always what it seems. And again, maybe, hypothetically, possibly, this information's all available, but you would think Somalia, it's so safe, it's so awesome, the government that gets all their money from the residents do the right thing. But it turns out when you do a little bit of digging, the Somalia in the past 2 years, hypothetically, possibly, family violence has gone up 20%. In Somalia, vehicle theft has gone up 10%. In Somalia, blackmail and extortion is up 56%. Unlawful entry in Somalia is up 6%. Robbery is up 17%. Other theft is up 20%. And then it makes you think, if it's the 4th highest taxed country in the world, where does all that government resource from Somalia go? Because it clearly doesn't go to keeping it safer, because the crime is on the rise. The crime that actually has victims, where people actually get harmed, where people actually do the wrong thing, seems to be going unpunished. And then it would just hypothetically possibly maybe make you think that that resource isn't being allocated correctly. And then maybe, like, we're stretching it here, guys. We're getting, like, this is fairyland stuff, but just maybe there's this guy and he flies his motorcycle across the river, kind of like Batman or Spider-Man. He's out here doing these things and he's showing kids that you can show strength and courage in the face of adversity and fear. You can be innovative and have good ideas. You can entertain the masses. You can put your life on the line to do things that are cool and inspiring. And just maybe, a part of that massive abundance of resources Somalia has, they send out pieces of paper to those guys. And who knows? Maybe this is just a bit of a glitch in the matrix and it will disappear. Or maybe Somalia has lost its ways. But anyway, everything I just said is all hypothetical. None of it's true. None of it's real. Crime is definitely not in the rise in Australia.
Victims of crime have compared Melbourne to El Salvador, slamming the government for not doing enough to protect the community.
And we definitely aren't the 4th highest taxed, and we aren't the 2nd most litigious and the 2nd most sued. But anyway, what we do from here, I'm not too sure. I'm ultimately accountable for everything that I do. I don't deny it. I'll do it again. I'm not going to lie. But 2 years prison, it's not ideal. I mean, if I could cut a deal and go for a month, it's an experience. I wouldn't mind it. But I don't know. So what I'm going to do is put it to the people. What do you guys think? Should I continue to fly the kite bike, or should I pack it up? Should I show courage and not care about the piece of paper? Keep my word and do what I said I was going to do, because I'm not hurting and not harming anyone. Or should I show cowardice and be a little bitch and abide by the words on the piece of paper, even though I'm not doing anything wrong and I'm not hurting, I'm not harming anyone? There's many other important things to do. But anyway, some of this is true, some of it's not. Who knows? That's where we're at with the kite bike. That's why I haven't spoken about it lately. And what happens next? I'm not too sure. But I'm curious. What do you guys think? Should I continue to fly the kite bike, or should I pack it up? Cheers.